and welcome to the sixth and final part of A Look into the Flash by Mark Waid, Book 1. This time, The Flash, Annual number 5. And in The Flash Annual number 5, we have Wally West running to burn off some excess energy when he runs into the Trickster in the midst of a crime when Weather Wizard assists his rogues compatriot with an invite to a rogues meetup via Captain Cold. Later, Wally is hanging with his friend Chunk when a device activates that Chunk was developing, opening up a singularity that Wally ends up getting sucked into, but with the help of his friend, he is able to get out. Around this time, the rogues are meeting at a movie theater when it's revealed that Golden Glider is the one that sent the invites, not Leonard Snart. She at first moves to question them about who turned her in recently, then informs them of a diamond she wants to steal from the museum, and figured, instead of the others getting in her way, they can all team up, where she gets the diamond, and they can get anything else. The rogues agree, and then sometime later, Wally is trying to meet up with Chunk, but instead is greeted by Golden Glider's boyfriend, Chillblaine. That night at the museum, in an attempt to get the one-up on each other, the rogues individually break in, with Golden Glider anticipating this and poisoning all of them with a kiss, telling them whoever gets her the diamond gets the antidote. They then come to find that the diamond has been attached to the Flash, who does his best to outrun the rogues but is slowed down by a metal boot, which causes him to take multiple hits. Wally is soon able to free his foot and run freely again when he noticed the diamond is not actually a diamond but a bomb, which he is luckily able to get out of the city just in time. Upon returning to the museum, he comes to find that Golden Glider is actually under the possession of a being called Eclipso, who is looking to take possession of the Flash. So, she causes mayhem while the Flash tries to stop her, leading to Eclipso transferring into the Flash and leaving Golden Glider once again in her own control, with the Trickster tossing her a can, which we can just hear the spraying, ending the story. Wait, that's it? They're just ending the story right there? I don't even have book 2! But ultimately, this story was a ride. It actually does feel like a good cap off to the first book altogether, with a story of the rogues coming together, trying to screw each other over, ended up getting screwed themselves, finding out Golden Glider is possessed by Eclipso, and then possesses the Flash and runs off, which means, all hell's about to break loose. And this book really does leave me with a lot of questions, like, how are they going to fix Wally and get Eclipso out of him? Who is the shadowy being in the back that prevents Chunk from interfering with the Eclipso Wally takeover? Which was actually kind of heartbreaking, really, because, you have Wally and he's begging to his friend, help me, just cracking jokes, trying to get some kind of a moat out of him, but man, Chunk just stands there. And I don't know, for me, if this is alluding to anything, but I caught the term Speed Force, sort of grouped together with, they're like it's stacked over each other in one of the text bubbles. Because at this point, the Speed Force hasn't actually been established yet. But one thing I noticed reading through the entire Mark Waid set here is that at multiple points, there is some idea kind of getting tossed around that the whole Speed Force thing is, bigger and more complex than even Barry realized. Even though at this point we're still in the 60 range of issues, whereas the Speed Force doesn't officially get mentioned till issue number 5 in the Terminal Velocity story. But I like to think he's been setting this up for a while. I'm also sitting here wondering what the fate of Golden Glider is, because when it comes to the Trickster, he can be a little unpredictable, because we saw at the beginning of this story when he tossed a very similar can to 2 police officers, it was harmless. But later in the story, he was poisoned by Golden Glider, so he would actually have some kind of motive for wanting to kill her, which I'm sure he didn't, but maybe quite possibly a concussion or two. And speaking of the rogues, I actually really liked their use here, as we got to see a lot of their personalities in this, where in a manner of speaking, they do like to look out for each other. We saw this when Weather Wizard helped out the Trickster from being caught by the Flash, and then we saw it at the end when they were all walking out of the museum together and saying, "I can't believe Golden Glider thought we would turn her in. We're rogues, but we have a code." Well, also a code of honor that only goes so far is that's then followed up by them saying that Golden Glider shouldn't have taken it so personally, with Captain Boomerang saying that he's blown the whistle on them as well. So it sounds like as Golden Glider was trying to find out who was the one that turned her in, yeah, it was all of them. That's actually pretty funny. And it's also interesting to note how the rogues actually feel about Wally West. You know, during the story, there are times where, you know, they make these comparisons. Things like referring to Wally as the new kid, with one of the rogues also saying, you know, "I've beaten the Flash, you've got big shoes to fill." Which means in their eyes, for them, Wally hasn't really earned that title, the Flash. And overall, I gotta say, this has been a phenomenal read. I really enjoyed looking at each of these individual stories and getting to take a deeper dive into them, because Wally is my favorite Flash. He was the Flash of my generation. When I was growing up, whenever I would get a Flash comic, it was Wally West. So The Flash by Mark Waid, Book 1. What did you think of this book in its entirety? Or if you want to just leave your opinions on The Flash Annual number 5, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos, and don't forget to check out the other videos in A Look into the Flash by Mark Waid, Book 1, which I've assembled a lovely playlist right up here, along with The Flash Volume number 5. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.